Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we'll be reviewing the Union Atlas Pro. I rode this binding at Arapahoe Basin on a mostly bluebird day. We had hot pow, chop, chunder, high winds at the top of the mountain. You had ice, death cookies, it was kind of just a mix of everything. Let's just be real here. The weather didn't know what it was gonna do. It went really bipolar on me. And I rode it on my Ride Shadowband snowboard with my K2 Thraxis boots. The heel cup is fully adjustable on this binding. It has 2 screws on the side, so you wanna loosen those up. Then loosen up the heel strap as well, just a little bit. That way it'll make it easier to pull out. There won't be any restriction on that frame. With those screws that the heel strap is on, that is also where your high back rotation is in case you want to rotate it to be parallel with your heel edge, you psychopath. On the high back, you also have a forward lean dial. So basically you roll it right or left depending on if you want it higher or lower. That is really tight right there, like a tiger. If you need to adjust your straps, the heel strap is on Union's pin system. This is a toolless adjustment, but it can be a pain in the ass when you get your thumbs under there and you can tear them apart, especially if you're out in the cold. I like to stick a screwdriver in there and pop it. Why? Because I work smarter, not harder. Some people have never learned that. I've seen that in the comments. On the toe, you have a flip up twist cam, so flip it up, unscrew it. Once these are taken off, you can move them down or out, depending where you need it to center your boot on it. The toe strap is also on a push pin system, so you push it down, slide it forward, slide it back, pull it back up just to get it a little more centered over the boot. And then with the toe ramp, it's got 3 placements just to align it underneath your boot. That is all the adjustability on this. The toe strap is an upgrade, in my opinion, from what it's previously had. You've got this little rubber gusset in there to give a little padding, and then the cutout is so big that this will fit over a multitude of boot shapes. And when you crank this down, you do not feel it. It's full sorcery. It's there, you know it's locked down, you're looking at it going, wow, that's really cranked down. Can't feel it at all, but it's there when you absolutely need it. The heel strap is more of that molded strap. There's very minimal padding to this, and by padding, I use that term loosely because this is a little bit more rigid. You can feel it. This is designed to lock you down and give you a lot of response. All the padding is actually going to come from your boot. When you drive into this, you feel that response right out of it immediately. So all the padding in the boot, all the response out of the strap, that's what you ideally want. It gets rid of any pinch points that you might actually feel with it. I'm a big fan of 1-finger quick release tabs on ratchets. I like them long enough that I can use it without having to grip the front of the binding. With this, it barely grips it. So I'm gripping the front of the binding and just pulling it open. Yeehaw, I'm a cowboy, look at me. Over there just finger blasting my ratchets. But when you're actually using these to climb, they work. They work real well. And what's cool is when you max these out, they don't keep grabbing the teeth of the ladder and stripping them. They just stop. Like, they'll open, but they're not gonna go any further. Like, you're not gonna be able to do any damage to it. When you're locked in, you're locked in. I never had them prematurely release on me. Union does know how to make a good ratchet. Even if I don't like the quick release tab on it, it needs to be longer. You hear me? You hear me, Martino? Make it longer. Enjoying the review so far? You know what you need to do? Click the thumbs up. After you do that, go and subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for you. This is an anatomically shaped high back, where it being a little bit higher on the outside, a little bit lower on the inside, you're gonna notice that that slight area where it's higher has a little bit more give, and then it's a little more rigid on the lower. This is a high back that is stiffer. You can feel it when you drive into it. With the forward lean adjustment being that dial, it takes a little bit more just to get the forward lean where you want it. Just be aware that you can't just like flick up a tab, slide it up or down, and then lock it right in. You're gonna be just sort of moving it along. If you're one of those people that needs to crank 2 extra clicks before you drop into the half pipe, and then when you're getting out of the half pipe, you get on the chair, you're over there turning it back to normal because you're like, I can't ride with this forward lean when I'm on a groomer. Suck it up, buttercup. This is a stiffer binding. It's gonna have some solid response. You do have forged carbon in the foot pad, so when you're going toe to heel, you really push down into that. You feel that power driving into the edge. The heel strap matches up to the flex of the Highback, so it keeps you locked in and responsive when you're rolling from toe to heel when you're carving. You do get a little bit of lateral play in this binding just because of how low the cutout is on the chassis, and there is like a little micro hinge piece on the inside strap for the heel strap that just kind of has a little bit of give to it. But overall, it's a stiffer, more free ride oriented binding. This is a very lively binding. With that forged carbon in the footbed, you sacrifice some dampening for more response. You're gonna notice that right away. So it's gonna be more lively and you're gonna feel that chatter. And then you also have a really big disc on this, so it creates a bigger dead spot as well underfoot. And what this all does in conjunction is any kinetic energy, any chatter, it just resonates back up underfoot. You're going to feel it with this binding. If you were looking for a more smooth ride, something that is a little more damp, this isn't it from Union. There are better options. In fact, I think even the regular Atlas is more damp than this is now that they added the forged carbon to the footbed. You just feel it. So you're sacrificing how damp it is for more response. So if you're looking for a more responsive binding and you can deal with that liveliness, yeah, this is absolutely great. But if you were hoping for it to be damp, no, not so much. Rider in mind, this binding is for the Union fanboy that likes to charge. Like what we're doing over here? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. I would have much rather been riding the Force or the Atlas over this. It's just too lively with that forged carbon. I felt everything, and it literally was a pain in my ass because all that kinetic energy was just going right up through it, into my feet, my knees, my ankles, my hips, and my butt. Like, if I was younger and had good knees, totally probably would love this thing, but I'm old. My back hurts, my knees hurt. I was just feeling everything. The one cool thing is that toe strap is friggin' sorcery, man. You do not feel it locked down on you at all. And it just grips so well. This is possibly the best Union toe strap that I've seen to date. Like, it's absolutely amazing. I'm not a fan of this binding just because of the way I ride. I see who it's for. I think there are people that are gonna really like it. And they got rid of the Union Atlas FC and merged it into the Pro. So you're kind of getting characteristics of last year's Pro with the FC now. Is that gonna be for me? No. Is it gonna be for you? I don't know. I haven't seen what kind of comments you're leaving down below. Comparable bindings, the Ride A10, the Jones Apollo, the Nitro Phantom Plus. This has been my review of the Union Atlas Pro. If you're buying some and you need to know how to dial in all the adjustments on it, we have a video for you and you should go watch it.